At least it's recorded.
Perfect.
Biggest highlight for us obviously is chipping. Chipping starts this week, or sorry, next week, and we will fire off in the Circle Oaks, Berryessa region area. I think there's a schedule that'll come up here shortly. But excited to be able to get that going. Really want to emphasize pushing folks to sign up and put piles out there. We have, as I last looked, 31 requests for the whole county so far from our pre-signups, which is definitely on the lower side. But the crews are going to get out there. They're going to get looking for piles. I heard rumors of a significant number of piles that have been around some of the different communities that may not have been reported. So if you do have some of those in your fire safe council areas, feel free to jump on the app and drop those in there. We will be out obviously patrolling and looking for them. But it would be really helpful if we had them in the system so we could, find them a little bit easier. So tell all your friends, tell your neighbors to start putting that stuff in. I did have one individual get a hold of me and say, hey, I have to move my pile and get it to a place that it's ready to go, but I don't want to, you know, didn't want to put the application in, take pictures, move the pile, all the things, which is totally fine. They knew when their week was, and basically said, okay, a couple days before, move your pile into place, take the picture, put the application in. That's perfect. So just wanted to make sure that we get that out there, keep pushing that. We'll be continue to push it on social media. We're looking at some signage to put around the valley as well. But countyofnapa.org/chipping is the webpage and the app. And yeah, any questions on chipping or anything of that nature before I punt to the next thing?
I will say, JR, I think there might be some confusion in that we on a couple other calls, it was come up that if we see your pile, we'll go ahead and grab it. And so I think maybe people aren't clear that they should be signing up. I would just like to put a plug out there for signing up because JR, you capture all of this and that's great for Firewise reporting as well, right? So, and it even says on your chipping website that if you have 3 piles, put in 3 applications because then we can count all of this great work. So I think if we could push people to actually sign up, I think that they're just thinking, well, if I put my pile out, that's the week they're coming and they'll see it and they'll grab it. So I just wanted to make sure that we talked about the fact that there's real value in actually signing up to have someone come and get your pile.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely helps us find it faster. Actually, the new system's been really cool with the addition of the picture. We've already been able to contact a few folks and just kind of talk about location of their pile or how their pile was stacked just straight out the gate without having to go see it and then red tag or do anything else. Yeah, do put it in. Lana, I see you have your hand raised.
Yes. Thanks, JR. Hey, for the Berryessa area, we're pretty early. We're kind of in the burn season. For us, it's just a lot more efficient, effective to burn the piles, but oftentimes if we get early weather, we like to take advantage of the chipping. So the question is, would there be an opportunity for second go around for
Oh
the
yeah,
chipping program?
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and thank you for bringing that up. Just a reminder. Obviously, we're doing kind of the specific locations for the first kind of couple of weeks, just so we can kind of hit it hard and kind of give everybody a time frame to go. But after that, I think it's like 6 or 8 weeks. We basically go to first come, first serve, and we'll be out there running around till the end of October, hitting the applications and the piles as they come in. So yeah, totally understand the burning. I'm gonna pop a pile in my front or my yard this week myself. Yeah, definitely we'll be doing the normal plan until the end of October, early November. So thank you for reminding me of that. All right. The only other, I don't know if I would say it was update per se, but the grant grants continue. A lot of things kind of moving ahead and picking up speed, especially in the federal grant world, which is great. I can't even express how much planning goes into a lot of these things. And Eric Mycroft, who's on spending a lot of time on our brick program. That's kind of his life. And his blood, it's in his blood now. And we've got our LPDM program, which is servicing Lake Hennessy and the Glass Mountain area, starting to roll ahead. Our HMGP program is getting some contract RFPs out, which takes care of a lot of stuff in the Glass Mountain and Tubbs kind of region. So a lot of just good work going on, which you'll have to take my word for because it's just a lot of planning, a lot of meetings and figuring out processes. So definitely in that silent phase, but definitely a lot of work going forward there. I think you'll see probably hopefully our LPDM grant pop out sooner rather than later once we get environmental done. So it's just kind of that slow burn to get there. But 2 weeks ago now, I guess at board, Fire Administration was able to free up a few dollars, it's 100 and change, to work on a little bit of a collaborative with NCFF and with CAL FIRE to do some maintenance projects, which is really exciting. We've been doing a lot of initial work, and we've always known we need to get the maintenance done and try and figure out how that's going to work out for us. But with CAL FIRE having returned all of their employees a lot earlier than typical, we were able to kind of utilize some of their people power and then utilize the great project management and all the environmental work that NCFF has already done and kind of leverage a lower dollar cost to do some maintenance work. So there's a half a dozen or so dozer lines that are on the list, about 18 or 19 other different projects between pile burning and some roadside maintenance work. They're all in this kind of little package that we were able to put together with NCFF and CAL FIRE. So over the next, basically between now and the end of the fiscal year, so end of June, we'll start seeing some of those maintenance projects kick off, and they're all countywide, which we're really excited to be able to do that for. And we're kind of at this sort of inflection point where a lot of our obviously a lot of our dollars are going into the federal matching component, but also we're going to start transitioning some of our dollars into maintenance projects. We've been, NCFF has been doing an incredible amount of work over the last, especially 5 years on fuels reduction projects, and we need to start maintaining them. And so we've hit a lot of the evac routes. We've hit a lot and put in a lot of dozer line and things of that nature. And so we're going to start transitioning some of our funding into a lot of the maintenance work. So it's kind of a cool time to be a part of, and really cool that we were able to kind of, again, free up a few dollars to kind of get maintenance kicked off here in the next few months. So those are kind of just the general grants, funds, all that kind of update things. On the fire operations side, I don't see any of those guys here, but CAL FIRE will be staffing up to their 1 engine per station here in the next few weeks, which brings them to what they call it's just kind of their base staffing effectively, is where all the stations are opened up, and they'll be moving into peak staffing in April, which brings all of their fire engines online. All their aircraft start to come online. Boggs Mountain Heli-Tac is going to be doing a lot of their training and aircraft flying here over the next few weeks to get their reps in and get back up to speed. So a little bit earlier than normal, obviously, but happy to have more resources should anything happen going forward, and their free time utilize them for fuels reduction work, which is great. So yeah, that's some of the high level stuff going on. And I don't know if there's any questions I can answer for fire. All right, on to the next thing.
Annie? Yeah, thank you. That's a really helpful overview, JR. And then, so just to reiterate, so for the chipping program, you guys have a schedule, places you're visiting, but people still need to register each and every single pile separately, ideally. If you have 6 piles, you should register each one as a separate pile. Is that correct?
Yeah, that definitely is the preference. and we'll do what we can. As Laura pointed out, there is a component there for resident investment and size, which we definitely track the size. And I know NCFF really likes the resident investment, especially from the hour component, because we can rip that out and use it for your Firewise USA certificate as well. So that's a huge collection point for that.
Yeah, and then I also just wanted to remind everyone that this schedule was designed, and maybe you said this already, and I missed it. I was trying to mess with my PowerPoint. The schedule was set up to align so that you could potentially do your clearing and chipping before fire marshal's office comes through for inspections. So it's just a tidy way to get the cleanup done, get piles chipped, and then have inspections coming afterwards. But the chipping program goes until November, so there's time to do even more chipping as you go on in time. Is that, then stop me if I'm wrong, but just wanted to point that out. And if the fire safe councils can help, if you guys can all help spread the word about the chipping program, just to make sure everyone knows it's available. Reservations are open now.
They are. So thank you all.
Thanks, JR.
Right, I think we can, there's no questions, move over to our Fire Safe Council updates. I can't see everybody on the screen when we're in this format. I don't know if we have anyone, or Sherry, you want to speak to the Angwin?
Yeah.
Well, Angwin-based event, which had multiple FSCs.
Yeah, I see Paul from Pope Valley, and I think Paul might be the only one from, I'm not sure who 707-889 is, but if there's anyone from any of the other fire safe councils that were part of that want to chime in, fantastic. But this was a group effort. Angwin and Supervisor Cottrell were in the beginning phases of planning another community outreach event for wildfire preparedness and just emergency preparedness in general. And it turned into a multi-fire safe council event with Deer Park, Lake Hennessy, Pope Valley, and various estates joining Angwin. Everyone had a little bit of time to speak, and including the supervisors and Napa Firewise, PG&E, and so there were presentations, very brief presentations, and then tabling afterwards, so everyone could mingle and connect with each other and ask questions of all the folks there. So it was really great. And what I was really dazzled by the collaborations between the fire safe councils. They came up with posters. So each fire safe council had their version of the poster you see on the right there. And then they turned it into a mailer that went out to every address in Angwin and I think Pope Valley too. Paul, did you get one? Or various estates at any rate. So hope we're I don't know what worked, but the room was pretty full that evening. Almost all the chairs were full, and the fireside room up at the PC in England. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that it was a successful event. There's another supervisor event coming up tomorrow night for Coombsville. And that one's being billed as a town hall. It's for the Coombsville, Wild Horse, and Mola, South Napa communities, and 2 supervisors, Napa Firewise, and hopefully lots of community members will show up for that as well. Paul, did you want to chime in or?
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know Phil, I guess I'm speaking on behalf of Phil Burton. I'll have to talk with him about that. But no, Phil was there, and we're pretty much getting started in Pope Valley. Is this the time to sort of go overview what Pope Valley's up to? Or is that later?
Sure.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that's fine. We've got, we're just getting started, and we've got a couple of pilot projects. We have a address sign project. We're looking into the red boxes. This weekend on the 29th, we have a community roadside cleanup. Not directly, I mean, sort of related, but we're going to talk to those individuals about the Firewise Council system. We're we're working on coming up with an local meeting about some more specific things about what we can do as a community. And then we also have a group that's looking into some of our fire breaks, our pre-existing fire breaks and how we maintain them, and communicate that information more broadly. So off the top of my head, those are my quick updates.
Thanks, Paul. I also want to give a quick update. Anything going on or coming up?
Can I give a shout out to the CAL FIRE folks who are doing the clearing through the county program along Wild Horse in the bottom of Coombsville?
Yes, please.
They're doing excellent work. And I'm stealing Eileen's thunder here in saying that she had an irate customer earlier today who turns out he thought he was mad at CAL FIRE and Firewise, but he was really mad at the subcontractor. But he was very, very complimentary of the work that was being done. Was up there last week. I'm going back up tomorrow. And they've done excellent work clearing back 30, 40 feet where they can, a lot of chipping, clearing out all the low brush and everything. It's a great example of what should be done. And I'm sure there will be before and after photos when they finish with their project.
It's great to hear.
Since we seem to be doing the updates, I just wanted to mention that Coombsville Wild Horse Valley is collaborating with Napa City, who is currently developing their CWPP. And we are trying to widen the scope of their CWPP to include a connection of evacuation routes from our CWPP to the city area. And, sometimes I feel that the city folk don't realize, they think they're safe because they don't have that much greenery to deal with. But what they don't realize is by the time the wind picks up and gets to us up in the hills, they are hugely at risk. And so I'm trying to bring that realization to them to get them to expand the scope of their CWPP to cover some of these transition areas that are not in any other fire safe council. And then, the town hall that's happening tomorrow should be very interesting because it is multiple fire safe councils, because Amber joined with Bellear Rims. And so we have the Coombsville Fire Safe Council and Mount George residents participating. And her reach, Bellear and Amber, their reach is quite wide through the city and the county. So we're hoping that people just attend for that reason. And that's our update.
It's great to hear. I do really appreciate your input for the city CWPP. I think that's really important as constituents in the neighborhood. It definitely affects you, and they could come up, you can help bake those projects into the cake. It's a great time to do that. Other quick updates?
And again, if something comes up later in the call, please feel free to raise it. But if there is nothing further, we can introduce a man who needs no introduction, but Steve Burgess is here. One of the things we talked about is having Steve come in and, having the leads or the leadership, I should say, because I know in some cases steering committee members join this call, have an opportunity to talk with our Veg Ops team. And we're looking at doing this quarterly where we can check in and say, what have they been working on? And you can get your questions answered, directly from Steve or another member of Veg Ops. Mike is available. Although I think I've wrote Steve into this quarterly, and since I'm saying it out loud, it must be true. So without further, I'm going to hand it over to Steve to give us a little bit of a walkthrough from the vegetation management team.
Thank you, Lori. And I don't know, is the next slide a list of projects, or are we just going to go and talk through them?
Yeah, it is a list of projects. If you,
Okay.
if you want to steal the screen at any point, you're welcome to as well.
No, I'll steal it for a slideshow in a minute here, but I didn't want to ignore that all the work you'd put into this. So here, everybody, is a list of recently completed veg management projects. In December, Petrified Forest Road is a big one, as was Highway 128. And we were supposed to start 121 in December, but we got going later. Steel Canyon Road got finished recently. And then Bald Mountain Fuel Break is something you cannot see from any public streets or roads, but it is a county line fuel break that goes basically from the very top of Dry Creek Road, Trinity Road, northwest towards parallel to Wall Road, almost to Bald Mountain. And then the Old Ridge Fuel Break is in between Dry Creek Road and Mount Veeder Road. Also another very strategic fire road that kind of connects a spur ridge, if you will, from valley to valley, and has been used in the past and will get used in the future. So we reestablished that. It's starting to grow over pretty bad. Rancho La Jota Linda Falls was an incredible CAL FIRE funded 4-year project where we did a bunch of work getting rid of underbrush, building piles, burning it, and then there was Snowmageddon. We recovered from that. We built more piles. We burned those, and then actually at the very end of that grant cycle, we built some more piles. The end of the grant came, and through JR and his team's good work, we're going to get some help from CAL FIRE, and Napa County is helping us cover the administrative costs of working with CAL FIRE to go in there and burn the last remaining burn piles in Linda Falls. So thank you, JR, and the rest of the Fire Administration Department. Crystal Springs Road, we got some really good work done on Crystal Springs Road, including North Fork Crystal Springs Road, which is very precious access to Rattlesnake Ridge, Land Trust, and other points up in those mountains in between Angwin and Calistoga. And just in case anyone drives that road and wonders why we skipped a big portion of it, it's because St. Helena City has their water treatment plant there, and they're waiting on some federal FEMA funding. So we did not do any work on the St. Helena City parcel, but other areas got a lot of work, including some tree tunnels that had a lot of dead and dying trees leaning over it, and then also a lot of vegetation on the side of the road. So yeah, same thing, January 128, 121, Crystal Springs. Old Howe Mountain Road got beaten up pretty bad in the rains this year, so we're gonna do what we can, but we're also gonna focus on the area that we have not treated, at least in my tenure, in between Silverado Trail and then the 3-way intersection of Con Valley Road and Old Howe Mountain Road. I guess 2-way. Anyway, the Y there. And so that's going to be really exciting for all those Con Valley residents to realize that we're going to be doing a lot of cleanup along that stretch of road. And then Circle Oaks, we've been using the CAL FIRE crews to do a bunch of the heavy duty work of fallen trees and branches, so that in the late spring, early summer, we're going to bring in grazing and maintain that perimeter around Circle Oaks, approximately 100, 150 feet wide. And so that's going really well. That's also a Napa County funded project. In February, got some of the same things listed here. So yeah, I'm sorry, that's February. Is there a next slide here, or do you want the slideshow? Oh, there we go. There's the funding. So this is really important when you're writing your Christmas cards to take a look at all this.
And these are current or upcoming projects in process or starting soon, coming soon to a neighborhood near you. I didn't add, oh no, I did. Angwin, Forest Hill. I took that in there.
The Angwin Forest Health grant?
Oh, it is in there. Sorry, I take it all back.
Okay, yeah.
Ongoing.
Yeah, we got all kinds of fun stuff coming up. So there's a new CAL FIRE grant that we're working on, which is going to cover Highway 29 into Lake County, actually, because that's a state-funded grant. So it's really easy to go into neighboring counties. And that will really help with ingress and egress for first responders mostly, because that's not a road I would send an evacuee on in a fire situation, depending on where it is and what direction the winds are. So it's an incredibly important project to work on. And then skipping around a little bit, everybody in Diamond Mountain knows we're waiting for almost summer to hit so that whatever work they are doing on their own on the Tree of Heaven will have taken effect. And so when we come through and we do our roadside classic Firewise roadside fuel treatment, we're going to be able to grab those Tree of Heavens that are hopefully dead by the time we get there. And then Silverado Fire Safe Council has been doing quite a bit of work on their own, and we're also working in collaboration with them to get some mapping going that will work into perpetuity as far as what gets grazed and what gets manual treating and where herbicide might be the best solution. And I want to thank all of the landowners for being very cooperative as far as that goes, because we could not do that amount of work without cooperation from the landowners. And then I'm going to test my fate here, and it looks like Lon uploaded some pictures. Oh, okay, good. That's over there in the chat, because I'm more of a Teams person than Zoom. So yeah, Lon put in some cool pictures of the county county line, but on the Napa side, Bald Mountain fuel break work over there in the chat. So you can take a look at that. Some people already have. I see some heart emojis on there. So good work, good work.
And Steve, we're trying to get a tour going up there on Bald Mountain. We're just trying to figure out a date and when we can get all of you up there to actually see it. So more to come on that. We're just, dealing with Steve, your team's availability, the weather, lots of, just trying to figure out when a good time would be. So we are going to try.
It's just because of mud and everything. Honestly, this should be a summer thing. The more I think about it, which is only a few months away. So yeah, we'll let the mud harden up, and that way we're not causing any disruption to that road. And then also we're going to clean up that road a little bit more access wise, so it'll be a lot more presentable. So then I've got some. I know a lot of you don't like all the talking, so I'm going to share slideshow. I can steal it, so I need to send a request to steal the screen here.
I think you can just do it. Okay.
I did. It didn't. It wouldn't let me. It says someone else is sharing. So, okay. There we go. Thank you. And then so I'll share screen 2, which should be my PowerPoint. Does it show a PowerPoint or the whole thing? What does it show you guys?
See the whole thing.
It shows the whole thing. So if I go to presenter mode, there, did it go to the full screen? Wow, my first time. Thanks everybody for the support. So this is not comprehensive, but this is just some really dramatic photos of some of our projects. So this is on the Inkray to Pope Valley Spurridge fuel break, and you can see how it was left. There's just debris everywhere. You cannot drive a fire engine on that road. And then there's going to be trip hazards, a lot of heat. And so we got rid of all that. And that is a project that is coming along, is going to mature into a beautiful, beautiful project. Tons and tons of debris that was just left all over the place we got rid of. That was, it was a while ago we did this, but I just wanted to show off the product again for those of you that have not seen it. Here's one of our project leads working with a couple of the CAL FIRE captains who came and worked collaboratively with us, and you can see in the distance our Firewise dozer, which is right there with Randy driving it. Just amazing amount of work we've been able to get done with having our own dozer. And up in PUC, we did a prescribed burn last year. and it didn't quite get hot enough to kill the tan oaks, which you can see a lot of in there, but it did drastically reduce the fuel load in that area so that when a wildfire does come through, it does not kill all the trees. The trees will survive when a wildfire goes through there now. And CAL FIRE had done all the prep work for that. So here's some more CAL FIRE, and a whole ton of volunteers from Napa County Fire Department came and helped out with this too. Just more collaboration. There's 1466 out of, I think, Station 25 that came up to help, and there's our dozer. Here's some grazing done over in the Spring Mountain area. You can see before and after photos, and just continued pressure with manual treatments and maybe even herbicide. You can see how goats and sheep do not eat the bay. So that's something we have to be aware of when we do grazing projects, is sometimes we like to alternate herbicide treatments and grazing treatments. And the good thing about the herbicide is you can really focus what you eliminate, whereas the sheep and the goats are going to eat a lot of good trees too. So that's something we need to be aware of. We've got some great partnerships. Here's Mike Palladini on the far right with Land Trust, and we went on a tour from basically the Chapelet Winery area all the way to the end of Atlas Peak Road, where we have a beautiful fire road potential operational delineation up there. And then here at Firewise, we do whatever it takes to get the job done. So we had to work at night from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Petrified Forest Road. So we were out there until all night long working, and we had this Cenoboggan grabbing stuff off the side of the hill. This is, if you look close, I'm way up the hill looking down. That operator is 20 feet in the air, and their device is 35, 40 feet in the air. And you can see the power, not the power lines, that's the communication lines down there. They're working, removing dead trees from over comm lines in the woods. It's just an incredible amount of work that we were able to get done at night. And then, just moving all that stuff, chipping it, broadcasting it, hauling it off. However, we needed to get rid of the excessive fuels in that area. Always building bridges. A lot of you made it to this event. That was really cool. There's Supervisor Ann Cottrell cutting the ribbon, some of the public works staff and engineering team that helped get that new bridge built over there by Lake Hennessy. And then this picture, you're going to have to look close. This is a really cool project where if you see up there along the ridge, there's a dozer road, just kind of that dirt line there. We're actually brushing that right now. This is on Napa Land Trust property. And the reason why this road is so important is it's fire access up to very remote areas of the Napa County Land Trust land where there's no other way to drive there. And so we're doing this awesome work brushing that out so we can drive it. There's also another hidden benefit to this, and that is for emergency access for hikers, bikers, people that get in trouble up there. We actually have a tremendous amount of responses for broken ankles, diabetic issues, battery died, got cold, it's dark, ran out of water on a 120-degree day. I mean, you name it. We have a tremendous amount of responses, and we've always been very lucky about getting help from the helicopters like H-30 from California Highway Patrol and the sheriff. And actually, I haven't read the full article, but I just heard that they are not going to be able to respond as much as they previously have. And so this work that Firewise and Napa County Land Trust and Napa Valley Vintners funding this is doing is actually going to help replace this lack of helicopter access to people that are stranded up there. If you like to hike and mountain bike, these rural areas in Napa County. And then here's some of the pile burning up in Linda Falls. Over the 4 years we worked up there, I am confident we burned 12,000 piles. It was an incredible amount of pile burning we did. And then there's a Cenoboggan right now that was a couple weeks ago on Highway 128. And so for those of you that missed seeing the work happen, there's a Cenoboggan, an Albach chipper, and another Cenoboggan. and they just killed it. They did a really, really good job on that stretch of road. So that's the end of my slideshow. I just wanted to highlight some of the work we've been doing. So thanks, Sherry. Any questions for Veg Ops from anybody?
Bravo on the slideshow with video. I think we'll keep you. It's a regular on this meeting.
Day by day. It's
No,
like
it's
in
great to-
sales. I used to be in sales. You're only as good as yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of you, but I thought it really does help to see the pictures. You know, maps are great for kind of figuring out where things are in the world, but the pictures, there's just no other way to really showcase it. Well, no, there is. You can go there. Let's go to every single project. Who's in? Take this show on the road. Well, thank you. Let's see.
Steve, how do you defend against erosion as a consequence?
Sorry, I was muted. So we do not do ground disturbance with our projects. So we don't cause any erosion.
Okay.
The dozer line is probably one that Eileen's reestablishing the dozer lines.
Oh yeah, no, that's
maybe
fair.
what you're referring to.
So the dozer lines, which are bare mineral earth, are usually on ridge tops, and there's almost no sheet flow of water across that area. It's extremely minimal, and also just because of the hundreds of thousands or millions or hundreds of millions of years, depending on what school you went to, how those hills have largely eroded over millennia, and it's usually very rocky soils, very thin soils up on the top of these mountains anyway. So it's not like we're creating a dirt road in the Carneros, which is all like silt and mud and clay, which is going to erode horribly. You know, this is all it's almost like pure rock up there on some of these roads. And then we work collaboratively quite a bit with RCD, and we engineer all the roads a lot differently than people did 50, 80, 100 years ago. Like, I swear some of the roads we bump into were put in with somebody with like a 12-pack of beer, like, and a D6 that someone left the key in, you know. And the way we do roads now is we outslope them, and we have rolling dips to collect any water that might have actually got caught in the tire tracks, and then we divert that before it concentrates. So even modern road design that helps spread the water out instead of concentrating the flow is so much better than these old roads. They used to inslope, I think, because people were afraid of like sliding off the road or something, so they thought it would be smarter to make the road go in toward the hill. And that was one of the worst things we all ever could have done. And that's being corrected one road at a time. So
Thanks.
yeah.
Excellent. Dr. Sherry again. Yeah, thanks again. Any other questions for Steve about projects, new and old?
For those of you who've had your check-ins with us, you know that at those meetings we're going really kind of deep into the projects in your area, but we just thought it would be helpful on a regularly scheduled cadence to just have access to Steve and the Veg team to kind of give you the overview of everything that's going on, because we have a tendency when we meet with each of you individually as a Fire City Council to focus on your area, and sometimes I think we're missing this overarching what's going on across the county and how are we partnering, and with the progress that we're being made. So we just thought this would be a great way to kick off a first quarter to kind of just check in on things and give a little more visibility. So thank you, Steve.
Oh, my pleasure. And if you look at Lon's pictures that he uploaded, you can see the Napa side has a shaded fuel break, and then where all the solid wall of bushes is on the Sonoma side. So we're working on collaborating more with Sonoma and regional parks, and we're trying to do a lot of outreach with our neighbors in Sonoma, and so we can do more of a shaded fuel break on both sides instead of one. And that'll help with erosion too, Eileen, because instead of being completely dependent on getting our 200 feet on our side, if we can do like 100 feet on each side, that would, be superior product. So it's all, thank all of you for all of your outreach and neighborliness.
Absolutely. And then, shoot, I wanted to just once again mention that, oh, sorry. Nobody can hear this, but shoot. Oh no. Jonathan put together a video for shoot. A video for oh shoot, I can't stop it. It's taking over my computer. For the Angwin event, and I was going to share that with you because we weren't able to play the sound at the event, unfortunately. I don't know, can you hear it on my computer right now? No, okay, you still sound is issue. Then never mind. Anyway, so wanted to talk to you again about May is Wildfire Preparedness Month. It's right around the corner now, and Wildfire Preparedness Day is Saturday, May 3rd. It's the first Saturday in May every year. For those of you who already are Firewise USA recognized sites, if you add your project or event to the map on the Firewise USA portal by April 10th, they will send you a free Wildfire Preparedness Day banner so you can help advertise your event. So again, the events can be anything, like a community cleanup, bring in a speaker. Got some examples I can share on the next slide. But I just wanted to put that out there. And if you're not yet a recognized Firewise USA community, I believe you can still register your event. They may still send you a banner, and you can add that to your application as more proof that your community is already doing great things on the path to creating a more fire resilient community.
Just a reminder, because I think we're missing this sometimes. Your hour right now on this call is an hour of volunteering your time. So just be thinking about I don't think that anyone I don't think on any of our Firewise renewals we had any concern about hours, but I just want you to be thinking about all of this time that you're spending, like right now, this hour is towards that. If you have this community event and you do a sign-up sheet, each of those people who attend that event, that's an hour of volunteering. So I just want to put that reminder in place as it feels maybe daunting at the beginning of the year. If this is the first time you've been Firewise and you've got the renewal coming in November, you're doing work all the time that is equaling being ready for that renewal.
Absolutely. And when we send out the slides, you can use all these links too to get to the time and expense investment examples, the community tracking form that we have on our website that is a treasure hunt to find, and you probably all have it. Lon has been playing with a way to capture those tracking those hours into a Google form. So maybe more on that sometime soon. And then more links, of course, there as well. There we go. So just a couple of ideas for you. If you don't already have something, does anyone have something planned already for Wildfire Awareness Month? I know Deer Park is doing an event in April, and I believe Diamond Mountain Fire Safe Council has their community event on Sunday, May 4th. Gretchen's still on. Discretion. Any other takers?
Coombsville is trying to do an event at the Grange on Hagen, helping them with clearing the property. So.
Yes, right. I think that's such a great idea with donuts, right? Donuts and coffee.
Yeah, donuts and coffee.
Joe's rubbing off on me. It's all about the food.
Who said anything about donuts? That might be a problem.
Megan, did you have something too, or did you guys already do a cleanup last weekend?
We haven't, unfortunately, we haven't been to the lake for weeks. So I don't know exactly what's been going on. I know that there is stuff going on. There's one homeowner that's really trying to get some tree removal happening behind his house. The land that backs up to him is owned by a corporation, and he hasn't been having a lot of luck. So he's asking for support from Napa Firewise from us in our little community. But because we're so small, it's really hard to know exactly what resources would be good to suggest. But yeah, we do things, small little things, but nothing planned, no planned events.
Things are great also. I do, and we can help too if you guys are interested in securing a speaker to come. Napa Valley COAD is often would like to come out and talk to neighborhoods. You can even do a smaller event, doesn't have to be your whole fire safety council. Hosting a demonstration at someone's house about things they've done to improve their fire safety in their yard, or if someone's particularly proud of their garden or would like some help, if you can find a neighbor in need and put together a work party. I know Deer Park is doing that. And invasive plant removal, I bet everybody has broom. Angwin has started a broom pole challenge, and I can't remember if they spoke about it last week. I don't think so. I mean, last month. But basically, if you go out and pull any amount of broom, even if it's just one plant, take a picture of it and post it, and hashtag their broom pole challenge. They will add you to the competition, and I think there's a prize at the end. But it is a way to get people focused on helping to keep flammable things at bay and raise awareness about brooms being, a hazard. I'll add the link to that too.
Hey, wait, Sherry, anyone can participate in the broom pole challenge?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Anyone, anywhere. I think this is going to catch on and go viral, and it's going to be worldwide soon.
Hey, Eileen, can you mute your microphone? There's like a blender sound or something. So, and thank you.
It's a computer fan, maybe.
Oh, computer thing. Yeah.
All we have for you guys today, unless there's anything else. Or what am I forgetting, Lori?
That was the main things we wanted to cover. One of the things we are actually trying to do is not overload this hour, because we find that there's some great discussion that happens when the FSC gives their updates or when we're talking about something. And for a while there, we were always running like 10 minutes late, and we really want you also to eat your dinners and, be with your families and catch up on work if that's sadly what you plan to do this evening. So we're really trying to keep to the hour. And so kind of thinning out the schedule enough and letting some breathing space in for us to actually have some dialogue. And of course, we're always open to, hearing from you about how you'd like to use this hour each month. We've been committed to trying to make sure we had a different sort of speaker each month and to cover a different sort of topic. Make sure, like I said, right in the middle, we set up the time for the FSCs to speak, so we're not pushing that to the end. But if there's something in particular you want us to be covering, please do let us know, because the idea of this meeting, again, is to bring all of you together as leaders and kind of talk through what are some of the issues you're having, kind of celebrate some of the successes, and as we work through the year in each of these seasons, and making sure you have the information that you need.
So yes, if anyone, as Laura said, if you have any suggestions for speakers or things you'd like to learn more about, we'd be happy to try to arrange one of these meetings to be a learning session.
And we have some things coming. We've been trying to, normally we're trying to identify the speaker the month in advance and say next month we'll have, but right now we've been trying to determine if we can get someone from either insurance or NFPA to talk a little bit more about Firewise, and we don't have anything set, so we don't have a speaker right now to advise about, but that was going to be our plan for the next month. And then, of course, like I mentioned, Steve will be coming back quarterly. We're going to have Stephanie come and give us an overview, probably in May, maybe in June, about the new website and all of the new FSC resources that are going to be there. So that really depends on when that website gets finalized. So more to come on that. So those are kind of a few of the things that we have coming.
Oh gosh, and have I been sharing that same screen this whole time look at that. I have too many screens. If you'd like, I can try showing Jonathan's video too. Want to bear with me for a second. I know sound can be an issue sharing on Zoom. But I've downloaded it to my computer, so hopefully it'll work. Drum roll, everybody. Okay. Can you see Jonathan? Can you see the video? No, I can't see it.
I see it, but it's just a
Oh,
plain,
faces. There we
it's
go.
a photo, not a, I think you have to click the
Okay.
play button.
Okay, buckle up, everybody.
And then maybe the sound needs to go up a little.
Crank it up. Nope, that's cranked. Should I narrate in Jonathan's voice for everybody?
So was this a Berryessa Estates project?
This was a little synopsis that partly so you guys can talk, also just as an option for something that you can do.
Now I can't hear you very well, Sherry. You're very, very muted.
Thanks for hosting us. We represented residents of Berryessa Estates. The Berryessa Estates Fire Safety Council is a small community in the northeastern corner of Napa. We call BOR, BLM, Eldred, Napa Open Space, Napa Land Trust as our neighbors. We want to talk about it. The Facebook name work on expand the project. No traffic. Only notified. It's showing space, ingress, and egress. To a community member and a religion. In addition to this contract clearing, Napa Firewise Vegetation Operations, Napa County has a field break. This field break has been maintained since 2020. Between community and federal land. Reasons of this break. Meeting and school can work in the neighborhood. The fact incorporation and PG&E. For support years, the Berryessa Estates Fire Safety Council, we identified and funded PG&E supply developers, the removal of many dead, decaying trees. Berryessa Estates Fire Safety Council managed and coordinated with PG&E supply developers.
For those of you that can't hear what's going on, see how all those trees are topped? PG&E had come through and just topped all those trees, and the Berryessa Estates Fire Safe Council, in collaboration with us and consistency and persistence, got PG&E to come out and spend almost a whole nother week removing the bottom half of all the trees that they had cut and killed. And it took pressure from Public Works, in fact, to do this. So that this is where the strength in numbers comes in, of all of us working together, because pretty sure those trees would not have disappeared without some pressure.
Could you guys hear that well enough to be able to hear what he was saying? Oh, dang it. Okay. Well,
Bits and pieces came through, but other times it was very quiet.
Well, it does get quiet. I'm not sure what's going on with the volume, but so it's, you know, it's a great start, I think, for here we go. So we could, it's about a minute left. Thank you for the voiceover, Steve. Chime in anytime.
This project builds the impact of few communities and with you with your something.
That must be AI, by the way. That's not what chainsaw chains look like. No.
Landowners, thank you for all the support.
There you go. Yeah. So anyone can make a video. Yay, Jonathan.
Yeah, we'll figure out the sound. That was a cool video. It's too bad the sound didn't work very good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I know we're at time. Thank you, everyone. We will be sending out the slides and the recording, as well as links to things we talked about, like chipping. So all that will be coming through either tomorrow or potentially Friday. But we'll get that out to you to share out with your own founders and councils. So thank you for being here this evening.